Okay, I'm going to do another example here, this time with a cosine function and one where we will have a vertical shift. Okay, now in this case, again, I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the last example, where I'm going to start with the base need my pen. With the base cosine function. So we have 2 pi, 2 pi, you have pi, try to draw this small, and pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. You have 1, you have -1, and cosine graphs start off at the top. Then at 1/4 of the period they're at 0, half the period they're down at -1, 0, and back up at 1. So that's what this is just the base graph of cosine x up here. So, just like we did before, let's get the amplitude. Amplitude is going to be 2. The period. Okay, so the period is going to be 2 pi over pi over 1/2 rather. So it's going to be 4 pi. Okay, so I realize I'm going to have to adjust my graph a little bit because we don't have enough space on here for something that's 4 pi long. So I'm going to just going to change these a little bit. Just these. And it's going to be 4 pi. So let me make this 2 pi. And I'll make this 4 pi. Okay, that's going to be a little better. Alright, that we'll be able to do. Okay, so again, we have an amplitude of 2, but we also have, so based on an amplitude of 2, we would have a range of -2 to +2. However, we also have a phase shift, not phase shift, a vertical shift of 1. We have 1 being added on the outside. So what is that going to do? That's going to take the entire graph and shift up by 1. So the range, instead of being -2 to 2, is going to start at -1 and go up to 3. So let's see how this is going to look. There's a cosine graph. Okay, there's no phase shift here. So this is going to go, we're going to draw something, a period from 0 to 4 pi instead of 0 to 2 pi. Again, that 0 to 4 pi I choose. Why do I choose this period of all the periods I could possibly draw? Why not, -3/2 pi to 5/2 pi? Well, no, I choose this because that's over the interval 0 to 4 pi. I'm going to have this pattern, and so that's just a matter of convenience to choose that interval. So, cosine graphs. This is going to start off at the top. And where's the top of my range? Well, it's going to be 3. Alright. Now as I get to a quarter point of my range, actually, let's draw the bottom. Halfway through at 2 pi, I'm going to have the bottom of my graph, and that's going to be at -1. So halfway in between 3 and -1 is +1, and so at pi, I'm going to have a graph positive 1, and then I'm going to have the same thing. It's coming up, and then it's going to peak again at 4 pi. So now I can draw the graph in like that. Always helps to draw the arrows in here so you can see where this graph is going.